Every morning, his first text went to her. Every night, he scrolled through her posts, but ignored my goodnight kiss. I didn't think much of it until I borrowed his laptop and saw an open chat window. I swear, she's just a friend, but I can't stop thinking about you. My heart pounded. That evening, I got dressed up and waited. When he barely looked up from his phone, I smiled and whispered, "Thinking about someone special?" He laughed, "Just a friend from work." I leaned in and said, "Then why did you just confess your feelings to her?" His smile faded, and that's when I knew the truth was about to come out. I never thought I'd be the person writing one of these posts, but here I am. Sitting in my apartment, staring at the walls, trying to make sense of everything. I don't even know where to start. Maybe with the first time I noticed something was off. Or maybe with the moment my heart shattered into a million pieces. Or maybe with the night I finally decided that enough was enough. But I guess, to really understand it, I have to go back to the beginning. I met Nate 4 years ago. We weren't some fairy tale romance, just two normal people who clicked. He was funny, a little sarcastic, but kind. The kind of guy who held the door open, remembered my coffee order, kissed my forehead in the morning. It was good. It was easy. I thought we were happy. Then, at some point, things changed. And I don't even know when it started. That's the worst part. I don't know when I lost him. When I stopped being enough. When I became something to be tolerated instead of cherished. All I know is that one day I looked at him and realized he wasn't mine anymore. I just didn't know it yet. At first, it was small things. Nate had never been a morning person, but suddenly, he was waking up early. Before me. I'd roll over and see him lying there, phone in hand, typing away with a little smile on his face. I'd mumble something about coffee and he'd nod, distracted. "Who are you texting?" I asked one morning. He didn't even look up. Just a friend from work. I didn't think much of it. But then it kept happening. Morning after morning, his first text went to her. Not me. Her. Then there were the nights. We used to have a routine dinner, TV, some mindless scrolling before bed. But suddenly, he wasn't with me during those moments. He'd sit next to me, phone in his hand, scrolling, chuckling, lost in a world I wasn't part of. I tried to ignore it. Tried to pretend it didn't matter. Tried to tell myself I was imagining it. I mean, people are allowed to have friends, right? Just because he was texting a coworker didn't mean anything was happening. But then he started hiding his phone. Taking it with him everywhere. The bathroom. The shower. Holding it at an angle when I was near. Then, one day, his password changed. And that's when I knew. I asked him about it. He barely glanced up. Work emails. I nodded. Said okay. But something in my gut twisted. Then it got worse. He stopped kissing me goodbye in the mornings. Stopped saying goodnight. He'd just roll over, phone lighting up beside him, as I lay there, feeling more alone than I ever had in my life. I started watching him more closely. Noticing the way his face changed when he read a message. The way he'd suddenly get busy at work when I asked if he wanted to do something. The way he stopped reaching for me. I started questioning myself. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was the problem. Then, one night, I found out the truth. It was completely by accident. Nate had left his laptop on the kitchen table, and I needed to check something for work. We had always used each other's devices, no big deal. I opened it, and right there, in the middle of the screen, was an open chat window. I don't know what made me do it. I should have closed it. Should have respected his privacy. Should have walked away. But I didn't. The first message I saw was from him. I swear, she's just a friend, but I can't stop thinking about you. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up. And I swear to God, my hands were shaking. There were hundreds of messages. Flirty. Personal. Deep. Not just jokes. Not just casual coworker stuff. Real feelings. You're the best part of my day. I love talking to you. She just doesn't understand me the way you do. I scrolled faster. Saw the late night messages. The inside jokes. The stupid little nicknames. Then I saw something that made my vision go blurry. I miss you so much it hurts. I slammed the laptop shut. Just sat there, breathing hard, trying not to throw up. I don't even know how long I sat there. When Nate got home that night, I was waiting for him. I had put on makeup, done my hair, slipped into a dress he used to love. Not for him. For me. I needed to feel like myself again. Like a woman who deserved love. He walked in, barely looking up from his phone. I smiled. Thinking about someone special? He glanced at me, confused. Huh? Just a friend from work? I asked. His eyes flickered. Just for a second. But I saw it. That tiny moment of panic. He chuckled. What are you talking about? I took a sip of my wine. Then why did you just confess your feelings to her? Dead silence. His face changed. He knew. He knew I had seen everything. And that's when everything fell apart. Nate froze. I could see the exact moment his mind started scrambling for an excuse, a lie, anything that could make this go away. His mouth opened, then closed. He blinked a few times like he was trying to reset his brain. Then, finally, you went through my messages? His voice was sharp. I let out a small, bitter laugh. That's what he was mad about? That I had invaded his privacy? Not that he had been telling some other woman how much he missed her. Not that he had been pouring his heart out to someone who wasn't me. Don't do that, I said, setting my glass down carefully. Don't make me the bad guy here. I'm not making you the bad guy. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing. Rachel, you don't understand. Oh, I understand just fine. My voice was calm. Too calm. You've been texting her every morning. Every night. Telling her how much she means to you. Telling her things you used to tell me. His jaw tightened. It's not what you think. I leaned back, arms crossed. Then tell me what it is. Silence. He wouldn't look at me. Because he knew. He knew there was no coming back from this. Then, out of nowhere, it was just emotional. The words hit me like a slap. Just emotional. As if that made it better. As if the late-night conversations, the flirting, the connection he had with her weren't just as painful as if he had slept with her. I felt something cold settle in my chest. How long? My voice didn't even sound like mine. He hesitated. Rachel, how long? A long pause. Then, so quietly I almost didn't hear, 7 months. I exhaled slowly. 7 months. 7 months of waking up next to me but texting her first. 7 months of lying. 7 months of me loving someone who had already checked out of our relationship. I pressed my lips together, swallowing the lump in my throat. Did you ever plan on telling me? He hesitated. That was my answer. I stood up, walked past him, straight into our bedroom. My hands were shaking, but I grabbed my overnight bag from the closet. He followed. Rachel, wait. Please, can we talk? About what? I asked, stuffing clothes into my bag. How you've been falling for another woman while I was right here. How you made me feel crazy for noticing. It's not like that. Oh, so you weren't texting her first thing every morning? You weren't telling her you miss her? You weren't acting like I didn't exist? His hands clenched into fists. I didn't mean for it to happen. I let out a humorless laugh. Wow, that makes me feel so much better. He grabbed my arm gently, but firm enough to make me stop. Rachel, I love you. I never stopped loving you. His voice cracked. I swear. Please. I made a mistake. I yanked my arm away. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is saying something hurtful in an argument. I stared at him, my eyes burning. You made choices. He inhaled sharply. I was lonely, Rachel. That word. Lonely. It knocked the air out of my lungs. I stared at him, heart pounding. You were lonely? His shoulders sagged. You were always busy. Work, your friends, your family. I felt like I didn't matter to you anymore. Something inside me snapped. So instead of talking to me, you decided to build a whole other relationship behind my back? He groaned, rubbing his face. It wasn't a relationship. Oh, my bad, I snapped. You were just emotionally dependent on her. Texting her first thing in the morning. Venting about me to her. Looking at your phone like it was the best part of your day. He flinched. Good. Then, out of nowhere, his phone buzzed. We both froze. His eyes flickered to the nightstand. I turned. Slowly. The screen was facing up. And there it was. Her name. A message. I couldn't read it, but it didn't matter. He reached for it, but I was faster. I snatched the phone before he could get to it. Rachel, don't. I held up a finger. I swear, if you try to stop me from reading this, I will never speak to you again. His face went pale. That's when I knew. I unlocked the phone. Opened the message. And the second I read it, my stomach dropped. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Just us. No hiding. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. I read it again, like I had somehow misread it the first time. No hiding. Nate opened his mouth, but I held up the phone. So this wasn't just emotional? My voice was barely above a whisper. Silence. My hands were shaking so badly I thought I might drop the phone. I looked at him. He wasn't crying. He wasn't begging. He was just standing there. No excuses. No denials. Because there was nothing left to say. And that's when I realized I had been so worried about losing him. But he had lost me a long time ago. The silence between us stretched so long it felt like time had stopped. My fingers tightened around his phone as if holding onto it would somehow ground me. My brain was scrambling, trying to piece things together, trying to breathe. No hiding. No hiding. My chest felt hollow. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something. But instead, I just stared at him, searching his face for any sign of regret, guilt, something. But he just stood there. His jaw was tight, his eyes darting between me and the phone like he was calculating his next move. And that's when I realized. He wasn't sorry. Not really. Because sorry people beg. They cry. They fight to fix what they've broken. But Nate? Nate was just waiting to see if he could still talk his way out of this. I took a slow, shaky breath. Where? He swallowed. What? Where are you meeting her? I held up the phone, shaking it slightly. This weekend. Where? He hesitated. And that was his second mistake. Because a guilty man answers fast. A guilty man tries to deny, tries to explain. But a man who's been caught? A man who still thinks he can win? He hesitates. I took a step closer, lowering my voice. Tell me the truth. Right now. His lips parted, and I braced myself for a lie. But then, a sound from outside. The unmistakable chime of a car door closing. My stomach twisted. Something about it felt wrong. I glanced at Nate. His face was completely drained of color. He knew. He knew. I turned toward the window, my pulse hammering in my ears. And that's when I saw her. Standing by the curb, looking up at our apartment. Her. She wasn't just some name on a screen anymore. She was real. Dark hair, red coat, a small bag slung over her shoulder. She wasn't looking at her phone. She wasn't pacing. She was just waiting. Like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Like this had been planned. I felt my body go cold. I turned back to Nate, voice shaking. Did you invite her here? His silence was my answer. And then a knock at the door. A gentle, casual knock. Like she had every right to be here. Nate's entire body tensed. His eyes darted between me and the door, his mind racing. And that was it. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Because I wasn't just the girlfriend he had betrayed anymore. I was the obstacle in his way. And I refused to be that. I turned on my heel and marched to the door. Rachel, wait. His voice was panicked now, but I didn't stop. I yanked it open. And there she was. Up close, she was prettier than I expected. Not in a fake, intimidating way, just effortless. Like she didn't even have to try. Her eyes flicked past me, locking onto Nate. Hey, she said, like this was just normal. Like I wasn't standing right there. Like I wasn't his girlfriend. My stomach turned. She knew. She knew about me. She had walked up to my home, knocked on my door, and looked me in the eyes. She wasn't some clueless victim of Nate's lies. She had known exactly what she was walking into. And that hurt in a whole new way. I let out a breath. Stepped back. Come in. Her eyes widened slightly, like she hadn't expected that. Like I was the unpredictable one in the situation. I felt Nate's panic behind me, but I didn't care. I wanted her inside. I wanted her to see what she had been texting. I wanted her to feel the weight of this house of me. She hesitated, but I didn't move. So she stepped inside. And I closed the door. The room was suffocatingly quiet. Nate was standing frozen in the living room, watching us like a trapped animal. And suddenly, I felt calm. Steady. I turned to her. So, how long has this been going on? Her lips parted slightly, and I swear I saw the smallest flicker of guilt. But then she straightened her shoulders. Nate, what's going on? She asked, ignoring me completely. I almost laughed. Oh, she was good. She wasn't stupid. She wasn't here by accident. But she was still trying to play the other woman card, the I didn't know act. And I wasn't falling for it. You already know what's going on, I said quietly. Her eyes finally met mine. And in that moment, I saw the truth. She had won. In her mind, she had already taken him from me. She wasn't here to confess or apologize. She was here because she thought it was over. She thought Nate was hers. I turned to him, my hands curling into fists. You told her we were done, didn't you? His lips parted, but no sound came out. That was all the answer I needed. Something inside me cracked, but I refused to cry. Instead, I nodded. Slowly, I turned back to her. Well, I said, exhaling. He's all yours. I walked past them, toward the bedroom. Grabbed my bag. My coat. Behind me, Nate was saying something, but I didn't care anymore. I grabbed my keys. Walked to the door. And then, I stopped. One last thing. I turned my head just slightly, my voice steady. I hope he texts you first in the morning. And then I walked out. I walked out of the apartment without looking back. My heart was hammering in my chest, but my mind felt strangely quiet. I expected Nate to follow me, to grab my arm, to say something, but he didn't. He just let me leave. That should have been my final answer, right? That should have been the moment I walked away for good, never looking back. But I wasn't done yet. Not yet. I didn't go far. Just down the block, around the corner, where I could still see our building, but couldn't hear their voices. And then, I waited. Minutes passed. I should have kept walking. Should have called a friend, gotten in a cab, gone anywhere else. But instead, I leaned against the cold brick wall of a coffee shop and watched. The seconds dragged. And then, finally, the front door opened. Nate stepped out first, hands in his pockets, head down. Like he was ashamed. Like he was thinking. And then, behind him, she followed. I waited for them to leave together. Waited for that final gut punch. But she didn't follow him past the front steps. Instead, she reached out and grabbed his arm. I couldn't hear them, but I could see them. She was talking. Fast, pressing him for something. And then Nate, finally, pulled away from her. Shook his head. Said something that made her face twist. She crossed her arms. Stared at him. He shook his head again. And then, she slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed down the street, sharp and clean. I flinched. Then, before I could stop myself, I laughed. Not because it was funny. Not because I wanted to laugh. But because, after everything, this was how it ended? Her, standing on my front steps, furious. Him, rubbing his jaw, looking defeated. And me, watching from the sidelines, realizing I was finally free. I turned away. I didn't need to hear what was being said. I already knew. She had thought she won. She thought she had taken something from me. But in the end, she had just gotten him. And that wasn't a prize. That was a mistake. I spent the night at my best friend's place. She didn't ask many questions, just handed me a blanket, poured me a drink, and let me exist in silence. The next morning, I woke up to a text. From Nate. I'm so sorry. Please, can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. I wasn't even angry anymore. Just exhausted. A part of me wanted to respond. Not to fix things, but to understand. To make him say it. To make him look me in the eye and tell me why. So, like an idiot, I agreed. We met at a coffee shop a few blocks from our apartment. Neutral ground. He looked like shit. Dark circles under his eyes, hair messy like he hadn't slept. For the first time in a long time, he looked human to me. Not the man I had loved. Not the man who had broken my heart. Just a guy who made a series of really bad choices and had to live with them. He exhaled. I don't know what to say. I sipped my coffee. Then don't say anything. His fingers tapped against the table, restless. I didn't sleep with her, he blurted out. I raised an eyebrow. That's supposed to make me feel better? No, he swallowed hard. I need you to know that. I studied him. So what then? You wanted both of us? Me at home, her for fun. His face twisted. It wasn't like that. Then what was it? Silence. He looked away, jaw tight. I was unhappy, he finally admitted. But I didn't want to lose you. That was the worst part, wasn't it? He had wanted me. But he had also wanted her. And in the end, he had lost both. I took a slow breath. Set my coffee down. Nate, I said quietly, I don't hate you. His eyes snapped to mine. I don't, I repeated. I think you're selfish. I think you're weak. But I don't hate you. His throat bobbed. For a second, I thought he might cry. But I didn't stay to find out. I stood up, grabbed my bag. I hope you figure yourself out, I said. Then I turned. And I walked away. For the last time. It's been 6 months. I moved out of our apartment. Got my own place. I blocked him on everything. Last I heard, things with her didn't work out. No surprise there. But me? I'm okay. I won't lie. There are still nights I roll over and expect to feel him beside me. Still moments I hear a joke and think, oh, Nate would love that. But then I remember. I remember the mornings he texted her first. I remember the nights he ignored me. I remember the lie he turned our relationship into. And suddenly, I don't miss him at all. So if you're reading this and you feel that gut instinct, the one that tells you something is off, trust it. Because you deserve to be someone's first choice. Not their backup plan.